Oakland has the ball now on John Huddleston's recovery of the fumble, and it's 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Seattle 13, Kansas City 10, and that is the final.
And that pulls their record to 50% on the year. They won 6 and they lost 6.
Expansion teams are building. Van Egan. Mark Van Egan at the 31-yard line, stopped by Al Baker. Great rookie out of college. Hart is in the left set. Kenny Stabler takes it out of the pocket and throws, and it's incomplete. Hart, the intended receiver, at the 10-yard line. Charlie Weaver covering 3rd and 9 at the 31. Here's the final. Philadelphia Eagles 19, the New York Giants 17.
Well, they trailed all the way. They must have won it in the last couple of minutes, Lynn.
Raymond Chester checking in there, number 88. Neither team today has made a 3rd down conversion. Usually there's been a penalty on 3rd down.
Been a penalty on 2nd down, and 1st down, and 4th down.
3rd down and 9 yards to go. Branch comes far to the right side. Lone set back, and that's Van Egan. 3 tight end alignment. Stabler. Branch almost caught it lying on the turf. Branch almost caught the ball stretched out on the turf.
He had beaten Walt Williams to the inside. It would have been a completion. And Stabler doesn't like that because Branch would have caught that football easily. Watch his pass protection again. He just slides to his right a little bit. Here he comes on the inside. Now Branch has slipped down, and that would have been a completion had not he would have kept his balance.
So as Stabler comes off and gets the jacket, Ray Guys in to do the punting. Try to squib this one again. He did it successfully earlier. It's for the corner. And it goes out of bounds. A penalty marker is thrown. The ball is out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Or the 11. But there is a penalty marker, and that is illegal man downfield against Oakland.
And they'll let Ray Guy try to do the same thing again. And there it is. We gave you that final. Chicago 13, Atlanta 7. Breaking an 8-game losing streak for the Bears.
Detroit Lions are interested in
Offense,
anything that happens.
Legal man downfield on a kicking team, 66. Decline a penalty. That's 1st down.
That was Steve Sylvester downfield, but it's declined because they're going to take the ball at the 11-yard line.
And you know why? They're just afraid Ray Guy is going to kick it out on the 2-yard line.
And he might.
I tell you, that's what you call respect, Lindsey.
We said the Detroit Lions are interested in anything that happens to the Chicago Bears because they're both in the Central Division of the National Football Conference. 7:22 remaining in the 1st half here at Oakland, California.
Stanley presents the Cube, a simple solution to a lot of storage problems. It's a Stanley do-it-yourself project that's easy to do when you use Stanley tools to help you do it right, like the Stanley Surfform for smoothing edges. In no time, you'll be building bedroom cubes, kitchen cubes, bathroom cubes, a cube system for your stereo system, sleeping cubes, sewing cubes, working cubes, playing cubes. The Cube, a do-it and do-it and do-it-yourself project from Stanley, the do-it-yourself company.
Stanley, we want to help you do things right.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. Come fly with me in one magnificent flying machine, the 79 Thunderbird. I love its luxurious cockpit. Fly with a V8 engine.
Power steering and power brakes, all standard. Glide in great style with wrap-over roof and opera windows at a down-to-earth sticker price.
79 Thunderbird. What a way to fly at your Ford dealers.
NFL action begins next Sunday with the NFL Today, followed by a full slate of regional games. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
There are the turnovers in the ball game thus far. Monty Clark along the sideline. His Lions have the ball 1st and 10, just short of the 11-yard line. Danielson is quarterback. the struggle is on for King as he gets out there to the 14. Otis Sistrunk and Ted Hendricks made the tackle. Gain of 3 yards on the play. Will make it 2nd down and 7 yards to go.
Now you're watching what I think is probably one of the best outside linebackers that ever played the game, Ted Hendricks. And when you talk about outside linebackers, you got to put Robert Brazil from Houston in there. And if you're really going to think about a dream linebacker core, you put Butkus in the middle, Brazil and Hendricks on the outside. You'd have a team, wouldn't you?
Danielson now pumps it over the middle, and it is complete. Taken by David Hill. And a marker goes down.
Late hit, maybe?
I think it might be. A late flag in any case.
They got a good tight end themselves, Detroit. We always talk so much about Dave Casper. Put another 15 yards on that late hit. But David Hill, his 3rd year from Texas A&I, has got good deep moves, got good speed.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 58. First down.
That's Monty Johnson, the inside linebacker. Here you see it. He'll complete it to Hill. Comes the wrap on the head right there. Number 58, Monty Johnson.
1st and 10 now for the Detroit Lions. At the 35, a final score. Cleveland 45.
24.
Baltimore 24. It went away.
Reverse.
Fred Scott carrying around. Breaks the tackle, and Scott continues on into Oakland territory. And he is at the 29-yard line.
Oh, a good move by Freddie Scott. Good play action. Of course, you got a defense that reacts so much. I really don't know why teams don't try more of these plays, Lindsey, because they are successful. And when they are successful, they go for big yardage. This one went for 36 yards for Freddie Scott. Now he makes a good play right here. He's hit by Monty Johnson, keeps his feet, breaks the tackle, and then goes on and gets inside the 30-yard line. 36 big ones.
1st and 10 Detroit Lions at the Oakland 29-yard line. Anderson. And he's filled for a big loss. Ted Hendricks got there, along with Charles Fillion.
Watch Hendricks. He's almost plays a half linebacker, half defensive end in these situations. They love to blitz with him, and he gets the sack. Danielson had no shot.
Loss of 13 yards makes it 2nd and 23 at the 42-yard line now. 5 minutes, 32 seconds left to play in the first half, and Oakland is leading 13-0. 5 defensive backs in there on this alignment for the Oakland Raiders. Anticipation of Danielson's pass. And taken by Scott. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Freddie Scott took it in. Danielson with the 42-yard touchdown pass.
That's his 11th touchdown pass on the year. Tatum and Jackson back on the coverage. They slipped. There's a
Penalty
flag.
marker on the play.
A flag back at the 45-yard line.
Penalty, and it is against the Detroit. I beg your pardon. It is against Oakland.
There's Freddie Scott going in on the end of that 42-yard pass. They had an Oakland defender fall down. Now, Oakland wants an explanation. That's Matuzak.
Roughing the passer was the indication. Decline.
So it's going to be
John Madden wants an explanation as well.
So the touchdown counts. Well, he was wide open on the left side. They had one of the defenders back there. I think it was Monty Jackson, slipped down.
Ricardo is in to attempt a conversion. Danielson will hold for it. Ricardo's kick is good. So the Detroit Lions are on the scoreboard. And with 5 minutes, 7 seconds remaining to be played in the first half, it is now the Oakland Raiders 13, the Detroit Lions 7, and it's raining harder than it was a moment ago. Well, as Paul Horning has pointed out, there'll be big doings here on CBS Thanksgiving morning. 3 hours of parade from 5 cities.
Moscow Circus, the Calgary Stampede, and then the International Women's Gymnastics at Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I think there's so many things right there. The whole family, you can pick out something they love there.
Detroit now has managed to post something on the scoreboard, and they trail by 6 points, with Oakland having missed the first conversion attempt.
And that's an important point, Lindsey, because I was a kicker, and I've missed some extra points. And when you get into a football game like this, when you're a kicker and you've missed an extra point, he's thinking right now, Earl Mann is thinking, and especially since he, having played at Detroit, boy, I hope it doesn't come down to that extra point causing us to lose a football game. I'm sure that thought's going through his mind right now.
Benny Ricardo has teed the ball up on the 50 because this is the penalty for roughing the passer on the touchdown that's being assessed on the ensuing kickoff. It is being explained over there by Ben Dryth. Hart is back there, along with Whittington. Benny Ricardo puts it up, and it is taken at the 3-yard line, and it is returned by Whittington at the 10 to the 15. To Hart, I beg your pardon. Hart has returned it to the 21-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 now for Oakland as Harold Hart returned it, and he was stopped by Bill Gay.
And across the bay, the Rams have taken a 7-point lead over San Francisco. John Cappelletti, a 1-yard run. It's now the Rams 14 to 49ers 7.
Paul, I know you've been in town today, too. You've been able to move around the Bay Area a little bit, haven't you?
This is a great city. I always, you know me, I'm here early when we got a game on the coast.
I never want to leave. 1st and 10 at the 21. Stabler fumble. Stabler dropping back, fumbled the ball. Mark Van Egan got on it. Van Egan's got it there. Back at the 19, a loss of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 12 yards to go. Four minutes, 30 seconds left to play in the first half.
Van Egan's 28 yards on 12 carries here in the first half.
Stabler. And he slipped as he was being chased out. Purefoy was there, along with Woodcock.
On most occasions, they're double teaming the big rookie. You see him, number 60 right there. That's Al Bubba Baker. And both Gene Upshaw and Art Shell double teamed him that time. Now, the Lions defensive unit leads the NFL with 40 sacks. And that young man there, Baker, has 20 and 1/2 sacks. Credit to his side.
Look at 3rd and 22 back at the 9-yard line. 3rd and long. Harold Hart and Mark Van Egan are the setbacks. Stabler to Hart. Hart's at the 8, and he is pinned. Cannot get away from Luther Bradley. Luther Bradley, the quarterback on the right side. So the punting unit comes in, and Guy will lead them on.
Good tackle that time by the #1 draft choice out of Notre Dame. And this should give the Detroit Lions very good field position with about 3.5 minutes to go here in the first half. There you see Baker. I don't know, you wouldn't call him walking off at 6'6", 265 pounds. I'll tell you one thing, those offensive linemen, next year's in the National Football League, I bet they hope he doesn't grow any. He's only 21 years old.
Ray Guy back there in the end zone. Freddie Scott is back deep. Luther Blue is upfield about 10 yards in front of him in tandem. Guy booms it. Freddie Scott
Look at that.
his 35. Scott at the 40, 45, 50. Detroit has excellent field position now at the 50-yard line. A 55-yard punt for Ray Guy, and for him, that's not unusual.
He is invaluable, folks.
Well, of course, we'll be coming up to week number 13 in the NFL next week, and you'll see Los Angeles against Cleveland, New Orleans against Atlanta, the Giants against Buffalo.
And then the NFL regional game, Minnesota against Green Bay, Philadelphia against St. Louis, and Tampa Bay goes against the Bears. That's next Sunday right here on CBS.
1st and 10 for the Lions. They have the ball at the 50-yard line. Hussey drove inside the 45-yard line. Picked up 5 to make it second down and 5 yards to go. Willie Hall came up to make the tackle. Six-year veteran from Southern Cal. Now King has come back into the ball game. Here are the penalties now so far. 5 against Detroit, 8 against Oakland, 13 all told. And we are in the first half. Blue is the man for whom it was intended. Freddie Scott was down the left sideline, but he was covered. Phillips and Tatum covering up the middle on the intended receiver. 3rd and 5.
Danielson gets good pass blocking this time. Got a little time to throw the football. Almost trap blocking for the pass protection. And Horace King, you see, come right at the bottom left of your screen. He went back to tell Danielson, I was open. Did you hear me holler? And they had a little conversation going on, so you might look for one of those backs to delay.
We're going to get a dry ball in play here. Clock is stopped just for the moment at 2:14 as we approach the automatic timeout at 2 minutes, the 2-minute warning.
Rain.
3rd and 5 coming.
I was going to say, Lindsey, rain is picked up. I don't know if you can see it on your TV screens at home, but it's a nice, steady rain here.
Danielson. And it is taken by David Hill. He is out of bounds at the 30-yard line. 1st and 10. Charles Phillips, the defender.
And I tell you, Phillips and Willie Hall knocked each other off that time on the pass coverage. And it looked as if there was a pretty good block throw, and they knocked each other down and enabled Hill to just was wide open. 15 yards.
Keep in mind now that the differential is 6 points. 2:08 on the clock. Oakland 13, Detroit 7. There's the blue in motion across. Leave it on the ground.
We're going to go down to the 2-minute timeout.
Charles Phillips coming in to make the tackle there, along with Monty Johnson. As Bussey moved it to the 26-yard line, and there is the 2-minute warning. And Oakland is leading by a score of 13-7. Detroit in possession of the football with 2 minutes to play in the half.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find this near your home.
Oh, hi, it's me again, posting and pasting more posters. This time it's for the first annual Delco battery sale. AC Delco is making it possible for you to buy a Freedom battery at a special sale price.
Thanks, Delco.
Wherever you see this poster, look for it in your neighborhood for a great price on a battery you can trust. Thanks, Delco. Well, you'll be saying thanks, Delco, too.
Hey, Skinny!
Hey, Freddie, you made it back for the class reunion.
I wouldn't miss seeing the old gang, man. Hey, you want to fill her up?
Sure, 76 unleaded.
In my car?
76 unleaded's got spirit. It's the cleaner air gasoline for most cars that run on regular.
You're the boss.
Hey, Billy, meet Freddie Ray, an old high school buddy.
Hey, so you work with Skinny.
Skinny?
Go with the spirit of 76.
Halftime.
We have 2 minutes remaining to be played in the first half. This is Lindsey Nelson with Paul Horning here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum in Oakland, and the Raiders are leading by a score of 13-7 over the Detroit Lions, who have the ball 2nd and 6. They have it at the Oakland 26-yard line. Crowd is coming alive here now. Danielson quarterbacking the Detroit Lions. They leave this one on the ground. Struggled it up there for a couple of yards. That's Matusak and Filippiano. Came in to make the tackle.
Horace King straight ahead for a couple.
It'll be 3rd down and 4 yards to go at the 24.
And a game I'm sure Oakland is very much interested in. Of course, not right now, but after this football game, they're going to want to know what happened to Denver. And at halftime, the Packers lead Denver 3-0.
Danielson waits. Quick opener that time to Rick Kane. Rick Kane to the 21-yard line. Mike McCoy along with Villapiano on the tackle. And they're taking a long look at the possible first down. It's very close. They'll bring out the chain to measure now as the ball is outside the 20-yard line.
Looks like they're going to be a little bit short, Lindsey, and Detroit still has their full complement of 3 timeouts remaining. 3 times out remain. How do you say that, Lindsey?
Just a little short, and it's 4th down coming up.
3 timeouts remaining.
You can get away calling it times out or timeouts either way. The purists say times out.
Times out, all right.
Sports people say timeout.
All right.
Pittsburgh leading Cincinnati by a score 7-6 at halftime. Detroit's going for it now. 4th down and less than a yard to go. 4th and less than a yard. They've got Kane in the right set, and they've got Bussey in the left set.
All they have to do is quarterback sneak. There's not a man head up the center. He'd make it easy if it's a sneak.
And he does, and he does. 1st and 10.
That could have been an automatic, Lindsey, or something they picked up in the films. On short yardage situations, if you do not put a man head up the center, the quarterback, all he does is tap the fanny of the center. It's just automatic between him and the center, and they just go right ahead with the little sneak. See, there's not a man head up the center, and the center's Larry Terry, so he just goes forward, picks out the left or the right side. They double team there, and he's going to get a yard or 2.
And he gets the first down at the 20, and the Detroit Lions have used a timeout. CBS Sports Spectacular coming up next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 Central and Pacific. Leading off with highlights of the Los Angeles Times 500.
And it's Cale Yarborough, and what a year he's had. He's attempting to win the final event of the year. He's already claimed his 3rd consecutive NASCAR title.
And then the world's strongest men in this event is the wrist pull.
And Lindsey and I both are not in that one, folks.
Not even combined. And it's all on CBS, the Sports Spec, next Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS. When play is resumed, the Detroit Lions will have the ball and have it first down and 10 yards to go at the Oakland 20. And Oakland's leading by a score of 13-7.
Well, they're going to have to put the ball up in the air now, Lindsey. They've been running the ball in the last 30, 40 seconds. But they did it because they knew they had an advantage with the 2-minute clock. They still had 3 timeouts remaining. So now they're going to have to put the football up. They're not going to run it in from the 30.
Well, across the bay at half, it is Los Angeles 14 and San Francisco 49-7. Rams leading by 7 over the 49ers. Also at the end of the half, Green Bay is leading Denver by a score of 3-0. Luther Blue goes far to the right side. Now Danielson. And he guns it. And it is taken. And it's at the 1-yard line. David Hill at the 1. And timeout is being called. David Hill took it to the 1. Jack Tatum made the tackle.
19-yard pickup. Hill scored 3 touchdowns. Now watch him. Inside release. He goes outside of Ted Hendricks. He's going to cut to his left. Good pass protection by the Lions' offensive young line. And now right here, Hill has got a man-to-man struggle with Jack Tatum. And he's going to come up short at the 1-yard line. They take a timeout. They've got 1 left.
You see the clock in set, 29 seconds remaining to be played in the first half. But the Detroit Lions have it first down and goal to go at the 1-yard line. Oakland is leading by a score of 13-7. Well, we were talking about things that happen on Thanksgiving, and there are always big football games on Thanksgiving. Do you remember the great series in Detroit? The Thursday morning games between the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions.
Do I remember them? I remember my head being handed back to me a couple of times by Joe Schmidt and Roger Brown and Alex Karras.
Really was a great series. I remember being there one time, and the late Harry Wismer was to announce the game, and Harry got there only minutes before kickoff because he got on the wrong side of the parade, and he couldn't get through the parade to get to the ball game, which is a hazard you have to plan for.
We're going to have a parade, I guess, on CBS Thanksgiving
Absolutely. All sorts of parades on CBS on Thanksgiving.
The big parade I'm going to be interested in is down in Dallas, right here at CBS, both teams 8-4.
All right, here we go. First and goal at the 1-yard line. Up and over. Touchdown. Touchdown for the Detroit Lions. King took it in. Horace King went up and over. Spikes it in the end zone, and the score is tied now with a conversion attempt coming for the Lions.
Well, we got ourselves a dandy here in Oakland. Oakland jumping off to a 13-0 lead, and the Detroit Lions have fought back here in the second quarter. Now they've tied it up with the extra point coming, just zone blocking up front. And look at the explosion of Horace King to go in. That's his third touchdown on the year, Lindsey. It's knotted up at 13 with Ricardo trying to put Detroit in front by 1.
Danielson holding. Waits for the snap. He puts it down. Ricardo boots it up. And it's good. And the Detroit Lions are out in front. As the conversion attempt is good, the Detroit Lions go out in front of the ball game with 26 seconds left in the half. The Lions 14 and Oakland 13.
And Lindsey, that little point I was talking about, Earl Mann sitting on the bench when it was 13-7. He missed that extra point. Boy, it sure looms big right now.
Well, on Thanksgiving Day, keep in mind the ball game Paul's been talking about, Washington versus Dallas at 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
And whoever wins that will take a one-game lead in the Eastern Division.
And all the action begins with the NFL Today show with Brent Musburger, Jane Kennedy, and Herb Crox.
And don't forget, folks, the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 7-5 now. They're only a game behind in that division, so that's a lulu. And what a lulu of a game that'll be.
Ricardo is teeing it up on the 35. He's doing the kicking off today for the Detroit Lions, and Hart is dropped back along with Whittington to receive it for the Oakland Raiders.
Ricardo kicking off with Hart. Whittington deep.
Well, he skidded on the kick, and it is fielded at the 26-yard line and dropped, and now returned to the 30-35. And finally, at the 49-yard line, Derek Ramsey goes out of bounds. Derek Ramsey, a tight end, returned the kickoff.
He was a quarterback. He was a quarterback at the University of Kentucky, and a good running quarterback. Now watch Ricardo. He'll slip. Watch the left foot right there. He slipped. He didn't get a good piece of the football. And here's the special teams. And what happens? Ramsey created his own hole by fumbling. By the time he picked it up, he just looked up and he saw a good hole. So right now, and this is what I was talking about earlier, who would you want? Of course, there's only 20 seconds on the clock, but watch Stabler. He'll go for 1 to get him in field goal position.
Stabler going, and it's complete. Taken by Morris Bradshaw. Bradshaw is out of bounds at the 37-yard line. First and 10, 13 seconds left to play in the first half.
They picked up 16 yards. And they're going to take a timeout. Stabler wants to come over and talk it over. John Madden waiting for him at the 45-yard line right there. And they've got time, Lindsey, to get in field goal position. They've got 13 seconds. Any kind of a completion, a quick timeout. And Errol Mann will come in.
And meanwhile, on the other side of the field, the Detroit Lions talk over with their middle linebacker, Ed O'Neill, their defensive maneuvers in this particular situation. 13 seconds, and the clock starts when the ball is snapped.
This is what gives coaches gray hairs. Look at Monty Clark. He's very disappointed. He only had a few seconds remaining in the half, and here's his kicker. He loses his balance, falls down, makes a sharp kick, and they return it about 18 yards, and right away, with maybe another completion, they've got a shot. Oakland's got a shot to take a 2-point lead in at halftime.
Detroit is leading right now by a score of 14-13. Here come the Raiders, first and 10 at the Detroit 37-yard line. And Egan's the lone setback. Now the ball is fumbled. It is fumble recovered by Detroit at the 37-yard line. Stabler fumbled, Detroit recovered. Looks like Woodcock is down there.
I think he's got the football.
And it is Woodcock. He's got the football, and the call is Detroit first and 10. 9 seconds on the clock.
Number 50, Dave Dalby, the center. Woodcock's right on top. Stabler never got the handoff, and he says, whoops, look what I found. Woodcock's got it back for Detroit. Now let's see if they throw the bomb, Lindsey. They've got 9 seconds to go. They've got 1 timeout remaining. Anything can happen, an interference call. Or let's see if they play it close to the vest and just run it out.
Well, they have a one-point lead, and I'm sure on a rainy day in Oakland, they're glad to have that at this moment. Clock starts again on the snap.
I would throw it if I was the coach.
Well, they got triple receivers far to the right side, and they're going to throw it. In the bunch.
I like it.
Way up. Way up. And it's incomplete. Batted down. 3 seconds left. It was Lester Hayes there.
They had 3 receivers over there, and they're all bunched up, Lindsey. And with that new rule, you can double touch it on offense and catch it. There's the 3 receivers going downfield. Good shot from the truck. And all he's doing is just throwing it up a home run. Now it's a fight for the football right here. And, of course, if there's interference, the play stays right there, and it goes 1st and 10. It's incomplete. There was a flag down. Detroit was penalized 5.
Illegal motion on the play. Illegal motion makes it 1st and 15 as the ball moves back to the 32-yard line.
Atlanta won a game last week with similar play.
1978 version of the alley-oop. It's 1st and 15. And now Danielson hits the deck, and the gun sounds, and time has run out. And that's the end of the first half here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum in Oakland, with the score Detroit 14 and Oakland 13.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans present An American Tragedy. Nothing is so useful as the car, but many Americans misuse it. Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans are working to hold the cost of health care down. So stay fit. Walk when you don't need to drive. Together, we can keep the cost of health care from being driven even higher.
No doubt about it. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all.
Extra, extra. Read all about me. New Mobile Super Unleaded Gasoline.
Boy, oh boy.
Well, I got higher octane.
It's in all the papers, boss.
I mean, I fight knocks. I fight pings. And I'm so great, I'm also replacing Mobile Premium. Paper, sir? Extra, extra. Read all about me.
Mobile Super Unleaded Gasoline.
Thanksgiving 1974, Dallas's Mad Bomber Clint Longley relieves injured Roger Staubach, and the Cowboys explode to a 24-23 come-from-behind win over Washington. You saw it on CBS Sports. Thanksgiving Day at 3:30 Eastern, CBS Sports presents Cowboys and Indians 1978 as the Washington Redskins do battle with the Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys in an NFC East showdown. The Cowboys will be gunning to avenge a 9-5 loss to the Redskins earlier this season. That's the Redskins and Cowboys Thanksgiving Day. You'll say... You saw it on CBS Sports.
It's halftime here in Oakland. As some of you may have heard, there's been an incident in Guyana in which an American correspondent and several newsmen have been killed. We have a special report from CBS News correspondent Ed Bradley.
This is a CBS News special report. The dead are Congressman Leo Ryan, Democrat from California, NBC reporter Don Harris, NBC cameraman Robert Brown, San Francisco Examiner photographer Gregory Robinson, and a woman who has not been identified pending the notification of relatives. 8 other persons were wounded, 5 of them seriously. It was an ambush at sundown last night at a small jungle airstrip in the former British colony of Guyana. Ryan and his party went to Guyana on Friday to investigate alleged abuses at the Jonestown headquarters of a controversial religious sect called People's Temple. They had spent the night at Jonestown and were about to aboard chartered aircraft to return with some unhappy settlers when they were ambushed, perhaps by someone among the settlers. The founder of the sect is Jim Jones, a former housing authority official in San Francisco. State Department spokesman Tom Reston held a briefing in Washington this afternoon and confirmed the news of the ambush, and he said the group had been warned before setting out.
I will say that the State Department urged caution upon Congressman Ryan, and we did, in a logistical sense, indicate to him the logistical difficulties of taking a large entourage of people into so remote an area of Guyana. So we made him aware of lack of fuel supplies, lack of vehicles, difficulty of communication, that sort of thing.
Whatever the State Department may have felt about the dangers of the trip, the Congressman's mother, Mrs. Autumn Ryan, felt otherwise.
He had no idea that this was hyper dangerous, for goodness sake. The group was entirely unarmed, and the shooting down of the 5 people who have died was surely unwarranted in any way. There was no justification in my mind, and it seems to me to be a great waste of potential ability.
A spokesman for the People's Temple sect, still in California, has disavowed any participation in the violence in Guyana. An Air Force transport plane has taken the seriously wounded to a hospital at Ramey Air Force Base in Puerto Rico. The less seriously wounded are due at Andrews Air Force Base outside Washington later tonight. Ed Bradley, CBS News, New York. This has been a CBS News special report.
We'll return to the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum after this word from your local station.
Sunday on Dallas.
I'm pregnant. You may not be the father of our baby.
You tell me. Dallas, Sunday at 10, 9 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
Back live in New York, I'm Brent Musburger. You're not going to believe what happened with the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. The Eagles win the game, 19-17, and Jane, it all came down to one play. All Pisarcik has got to do is cover up here, and what happened?
The Giants had the ball on the 28-yard line with 30 seconds left in the game. It was 2nd and 13, and he fumbled the ball, Brent. And number 46, Herman Edwards, runs it in for Philadelphia. They win it, like you said, 19-17. Here he couldn't quite get a hold of the snap, and like you said, all he really had to do was just fall on the ball, and he would have had it.
Now, after the winning touchdown is scored, take a look at the contrast. Is Dick Vermeil happy? He's back in the playoff hunt. Way to go.
Yeah, but on the other side of the field, you have John
McVay, because look at what happened, folks. Redskins upset by St. Louis, 27-17. Skins and Dallas are now tied, and what an afternoon Thursday's going to be. Buffalo can't win on natural grass, Jimmy the Greek says. He's right. 31-10, the Bucks roll. They are now 5-7. New England 19, the Jets 17. The Jets miss a 35-yard chip shot with time running out. Their record 6-6. The Patriots now 9-3. San Diego upsets Minnesota in the snow and cold. Who says kids from Southern California can't win in Bloomington late in bad weather conditions? Chicago wins for the first time in 9 weeks. Atlanta's record 7-5. They're still looking for a playoff shot. New Orleans drubbed by Dallas. A fight breaks out involving Tony Dorsett, and then the Cowboys go wild. 27-7 the final there. And look at what Cleveland did to Baltimore. Colts playing without Burt Jones, and they lose for the 7th time. The Browns are now dead even at 6-6. Seattle 13, Kansas City 10. The Seahawks 6-6 on the year, and KC 2-10. Now the game's still working. The one you're watching, of course, Detroit leading Oakland by a point. How about the job Monty Clark has done here the second half of the year with the Lions? Green Bay losing to Denver 7-3. That game is in the 3rd quarter. Los Angeles and San Francisco 14-7 in the 3rd quarter. The Rams lead the 49ers. They are just underway. Cincinnati kicks 2 field goals, and Pittsburgh leads there by a score of 7-6 in the 3rd. You talk about action that we have had around the league. Let's check in Soldier Field in Chicago. As I told you, the Bears had lost for the last 8 times. Here's Bartkowski. He got the Falcons on the board with this strike. Jim Mitchell. First TD for Mitchell since 1975. Blocked punt coming up by the Bears here on the special team. John James can't get it off as Beck blocks it. And Jerry Myers recovers for the Bears. Avellini had to replace the injured Phipps. Harper took the handoff. Pulled his way down to the 2-yard line. And from there, you know who. Sweetness. Walter Payton over the top. It was 10-7 Bears. Indeed, the Bears get hungry after that long losing streak. Falcons cough it up again. This time it's Hartenstein as the Bear defense finally turns in a decent performance after being horrible the last 2 months. Here they are again. Bartkowski can't get it off. Under pressure, fires, time runs out. And we've got an upset in that game. All right, I told you about the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints. Let's check in on the incident that triggered this game. Now, remember, on Thursday on CBS, it'll be Washington against Dallas. But first, watch Dorsett on the sweep. Power block, getting to the outside. Chapman, face guard penalty. Don't do that in front of Tony's friends. He gets a little help over there. And you got to wonder how Chapman is tonight after that, folks, because then the Cowboys really came alive. Watch Tony Dorsett in the next sequence. You will see he was not hurt. He gets a touchdown on the handoff from Staubach. Tied at 7. Now, the next sequence, Staubach hits Dorsett, and he celebrates here, but he didn't quite hook the end zone. Don't hurt yourself. He's okay, though. He came back. He's now over 1,000 yards. This is a 58-yard run by TD. So whatever was bothering him early in the season, folks, ain't bothering him no longer. And he turns it loose, and we'll see him Thursday against Washington in the battle for the NFC. What a game here in New York in Shea Stadium.
Big one, but the Jets couldn't put it off. But the New England Patriots came in today and knocked off the Jets 19-17, and we had, a last quarter field goal. Of course, it's made the difference in the ball game. Steve Grogan in the first quarter goes to his wide receiver and overthrows here as Burgess Owens picks off the ball around the 49-yard line or so and scoots upfield. It looks like he's going to break free, but he's finally brought down by the man who threw the ball, Steve Grogan, at the 1-yard line. Grogan in the fourth quarter now, this time goes to the air again, hits Stanley Morgan. He goes down to the 19-yard line, which sets up a scoring opportunity for the running back, number 23, Horace Ivory. Watch him scoot off his right end here as he goes around that corner, goes in, and New England takes a 16-10 lead in the fourth quarter. Matt Robinson, the quarterback here, substituting for the injured Richard Todd, goes high with a bomb here. The number 85, Wesley Walker, he goes in, and the Jets take a 17-16 lead. New England hit a field goal, and then with 31 seconds left to go, Pat Leahy misses a 33-yard field goal, and New England winds up winning at 19-17. Can you believe it?
I can't believe the next sequence I'm about to show you either. Weather conditions in Bloomington, Minnesota. Just ideal for those fellas from Southern California to come in and lose. That's the kind of day it was for the San Diego Chargers. Let's get out of here and go home, they say. And Tarkenton hits the former Charger, Ricky Young. TD Vikes. Chargers can't play in this weather. They cough it up. Loose ball. Vikes, no, hold on. No, out of the end zone. That's a touchback. Put it on the 20. I told you they can't play. Look at this, stumbling, falling down. Folks, that's a winning touchdown. 13-7 San Diego. Jefferson took it from Fouts. What a day. All right, let's send you back now to Lindsey Nelson.
It's halftime here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum with the score, the Detroit Lions 14 and the Oakland Raiders 13.
Oh. Opticians. Let's see now.
There's a lot more information in the yellow pages than meets the eye.
Glasses repaired in 1 hour.
You'll see just how fast you can get just about anything fixed. When you need to know who, what, where, when, and why, let your fingers do the walking through the Bell System yellow pages.
Through our old underground friend, Chevron's come to know many of his friends, like coal, his crusty cousin, who were making more refined, and oil shale, and tar sands, even uranium, who's a rare individual. Our relationship with geothermal steam is looking up. And above all is one of our brighter friends. Chevron's working with all of them to develop alternate energy sources for you and your friends.
That's my team, the Oakland Raiders. And I'm Mark Van Egan. I want to show you a special part of Oakland. It's called Oak Center. Some of the houses here were built during the gold rush. After the war, Oak Center was a slum. They wanted to tear it down, but the people who live here said, no, these are our homes, we'll bring them back to life. And that's what they did. They stayed and restored their homes themselves. Many times, both parents had to work. When you have young children, that's hard. That's why United Way daycare centers and people like Helen Nelson are so important.
Yeah, don't throw sand on one another.
Helen's almost a grandmother to these kids. And while she takes care of them, their parents can work to better their lives.
Can you hear Carl?
Through our daycare centers, United Way helps people help themselves. It works that way in your town, too. Thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
As a public service by the National Football League. As we start the second half now, Benny Ricardo will kick off. Whittington and Hart are deep to receive it for the Oakland Raiders. This is Lindsey Nelson with Paul Horning in Oakland, and Ricardo runs right by the ball.
I tell you, he's getting a little snake bit up there, Lindsey. The last one he slipped down on, and now he almost kicked that football at quick thinking. I tell you, that ball wouldn't have gone about 15 or 20 yards if he would have followed through with the kick. Watch this now. Right there, the ball falls off the tee. And I tell you, very quick thinking, he's going to get another shot.
Pete Van Zyk was up there to say, that ball belongs to me. He wanted it. They tee it up again at the 35. Detroit's leading 14-13 as we start the second half.
Detroit would have had an onside kick whether they liked it or not.
So if at first you don't succeed, try again. It's high and fairly short. Whittington at the 18 to the 20, 25, 30, and Whittington fumbled the ball. Whittington fumbled the ball, but Oakland retains possession at the 33.
The ball rolled out of bounds.
Dan Gray.
This is Dan Gray of the special teams for Detroit. And he's what they call the second wave. That means he can't keep up with the first wave. He hits Whittington right here. Ball now slides out of bounds.
First and 10. That's Kenny Stabler brings them up now. Stabler. Penalty markers everywhere. And it's intercepted at the 45 to the 50, 45. Bruce Rhodes returned it. He fumbled. Oakland has got the football, and how do you like all of this? It'll take a while to straighten this one out. Oakland got the ball finally. They began with it and ended with it, but there's a penalty marker in between. Casper got the ball.
2 or 3 flags. Bruce Rhodes, who's starting in place of Jimmy Allen here in the second half. Stabler moves to his left. Now watch the deflection right there. That's 59, Charlie Weaver. Bounces off of Weaver's hands, and Rhodes, deep in his safety position, comes up with the interception. Meanwhile, there are 2 or 3 flags down. Now right here, Rhodes is stripped of the football, and Oakland has the football back. Now let's check out the penalties. Dave Casper stripped him.
21, decline a penalty. It's first down.
Defense, an illegal chuck on Walt Williams, but it's declined because Oakland wants the football where they have it at the 38-yard line. First and 10. Jimmy Allen has a knee injury, is out of action. Bruce Rhodes is playing that free safety for him. First and 10 at the 38-yard line. Now to sweep it with Mark Van Egan. Van Egan's at the 49-yard line. First and 10 as Luther Bradley bulldogged him there.
Good hard running by Van Egan.
Ball is near midfield in possession of the Oakland Raiders, who trail by 1 point in the ball game. They came into this game with a record of 7-4. Detroit came in 4-7. Cliff Branch is coming far to the left side, and Morris Bradshaw is going far to the right side. Running backs in an I formation. Stabler Putting it up to Branch, and it is incomplete. Branch inside the 20. Luther Bradley, the defender.
He turned on the burners there at the last second. A great burst of speed. He almost got under it. And Cliff Branch, of course, only has caught one touchdown pass on the year, Lindsey, and this is very unusual for him. Dangerous, a deep threat as he is. He just throws the home run. Now watch Branch turn it on right off his hands. It would have been a great catch. Those are the kind of catches that people out here are used to seeing Cliff Branch make. And Denver scored a touchdown. Craig Martin to Haven Moses, a 14-yard to take a 7-3 lead third quarter.
Second down and 10 yards to go at the 49-yard line. Stapler. Penalty markers. Incomplete to Casper. O'Neal covering defensively.
Well, that's one Stabler like back. He had Casper open. He threw it a little bit behind him. Newmoff's hot.
Oh, Newmoff really hot at the call.
Across the bay, the Rams 21, 49ers 7, third quarter.
Sure, Ben's right.
Defense holding number 50. That's a first down.
That's the reason Newmoff was hot. He's number 50. Ball is at the 46-yard line now. First and 10 for Oakland in Detroit territory.
Stabler was 6 out of 10 for 78 yards in that first half.
Stabler. And he's sacked. It's Big John Woodcock. Been playing that kind of football all year for the Detroit Lions. At the 43-yard line.
And he hasn't slacked up today. Woodcock been in on some very important tackles. Watch him. He's right over the right guard now. That's Mickey Marvin. He's out to the outside, makes a little spin, and Marvin looks like he's trying to cut him, but Woodcock keeps his balance. He keeps pursuing the quarterback, and he's got him.
An Oakland injury timeout for the moment now. There's an Oakland man injured, and he's getting assistance. And that is Mickey Marvin.
His right leg. I think it happened, Lindsey, when he was trying to make the cut on Woodcock.
It'll be second and 21 at the 43. Steve Sylvester's in there now at that guard for Marvin.
I tell you, they've been hurt in the offensive line. They only have two men listed as backup offensive linemen. One is Lindsey Mason, a rookie, and the other one's Steve Sylvester. So they've got one man left now.
Stabler. And again,
Baker.
It was Al Baker, the big number 60, with help from Woodcock and Purifoy.
There's a little jawing going on.
Marked at the 35-yard line. We'll make it third and 29 at the 35.
There was always a lot of talk when the Packers played the Lions. You mentioned it. Talk about Thanksgiving Day. The Lions hated the Packers, no question. And I can remember Alex Karras and Roger Brown didn't say too much, but Karras and Joe Schmidt, Wayne Walker, who incidentally works out here in the San Francisco area, they would talk to you, boy. They'd holler, make a bad play, you knew about it.
Third down and 29 yards to go for Stabler. And he's got Biletnikoff in there now. Biletnikoff is on the field. And it is completed, taken by Bradshaw. Morris Bradshaw. Ed O'Neal was there. Casper went out and took a turn and skidded badly. So now on fourth down, the punting unit is in. Ray Guy is in to do the punting. Fred Scott retreats. Luther Brewer is upfield in tandem.
12-yard pickup on that pass. Now Ray Guy, who's averaged over 50 yards in the first half, he'll get his shot here. He's a beauty to watch. There's Ray Guy, and then there's punters.
You're right. There are two categories, Ray Guy and then all the rest of them.
Look at this.
Fair catch signal goes up, but he let it go, and Bino run back, and it'll be down at the 3-yard line.
He's something.
So Detroit gets the ball, but to get it deep in their own territory, it's at the 4-yard line, first and 10.
You know, I was talking to Al Davis. I said, Al, that might have been the best #1 draft choice you ever made. He said, well, Gene Upshaw wasn't bad.
Sir, excuse me. You just bought a new maintenance-free Firestone Forever battery. How come?
Well, the warranty. You see, if this battery ever fails to hold a charge for the original owner, that's me, in the car in which it was originally installed, right here, Firestone will replace it free with proof of purchase, provided it's not merely discharged or damaged due to accident or abuse. Oh, and I don't even have to put in water. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it sure does.
The Forever battery, now maintenance-free.
This is Monument Valley, and today it greets the Budweiser Clydesdales, proud symbols of a beer whose unique, distinctive taste leads the way. Wherever you go in this great land, when you say Budweiser, you've said it all.
Thanksgiving Day at 3 p.m. on CBS Sports. See Jack Party's Washington Redskins knock heads with Tom Landry's Dallas Cowboys. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Under the umbrellas of Oakland, and Detroit has the ball 1st and 10 at the 4-yard line. Detroit also has a 1-point lead. Anderson, the quarterback. King and Bussey are the setbacks. Bussey. But only for a yard, and it's 2nd and 9 at the 5. Bill Villapiano from Bowling Green and Ted Hendricks from Miami made the stop.
And Denver, trailing 3-0 at halftime, put 2 touchdowns on the board in the 3rd quarter, 14-3.
Denver and Oakland, of course, started today all even. And the Western Division of the American Football Conference with identical records of 7-4. Gaines is in there now, King's out. They've been alternating all day long. 2nd and 9.
Boy, they need a 1st down badly.
Instead, they just leave it on the ground and try to wedge him out up there. It was Dexter Bussey carrying.
And the rain continues to come down steadily. I tell you, this is a wet field. And when you're backed up against your own goal line, Lindsay, you try to just punch it out. Try to control that line of scrimmage and get a big 1st down. It's going to bring up 3rd, and they're going to need a lot.
Center Larry Terry is still on the ground for Detroit, and he is getting attention. So this is a Detroit injury time out here for attention to the center, Larry Terry, the rookie from Wake Forest.
They've got 2 men backing up at center, Carl Chandler and John Sokoloski.
It'll be 3rd and 7 at the 7 when play is resumed here. And we have 11 minutes, 2 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter.
So it'll be Carl Chandler now has checked in that offensive group. He's a 5-year man from Princeton, good size, 6'5", 250.
It is raining steadily. It has rained throughout the course of this ball game here in Oakland this afternoon.
This computer is the brain behind an extraordinary game from Parker Brothers, codename Sector. You use the computer to track down an unseen sub. The sub uses the computer to escape and counterattack. Your mission, be the first ship to sink the enemy sub.
Range 10, speed 9, firing range, depth 3.
Again, with lots of room for the money. With a great EPA mileage estimate for today's driving. With a range of sticker prices that are surprisingly low. From sedans to wagons to exciting Futura, the best-selling new car ever introduced, Ford Fairmont. Test drive America's success car at your local Ford dealer.